Hey guys, now what we're going to talk about here is graphing of stories. And sometimes what happens is easier to graph a story and tell what happens than it is actually to write it in words. And that's what we're going to be doing here in this unit a little bit to begin with. What I'm going to show you here, since we just got done taking our test, is I've given you this piece of paper that you have. There are 4 graphs on it. You're going to watch 4 videos that are going to show you a depiction of an event that's happening. I want you to watch those videos and draw me a graph of what is happening, in the video. And what I mean by that is the first one that you're going to get is going to be a clock. It's going to tick down from, they're going to give you a 15-second video, and you're going to watch the second hand tick by 15 seconds, and you're going to plot how does the time change versus the time in the video going forward. And what I want you to see is that these scales are going up by 2s, these are going up by 1s down at the bottom, and this is kind of where your starting value is at right here at 0, 0. So if we're starting at 0 on the clock and the time, how would our graph be moving? I want you to kind of think about that as you see that. The second video that you'll watch will be a guy that will be climbing on a jungle gym, and it says the height of his waist from the ground. And it will be a 15-second video roughly. And what will happen is I want you to tell me where is his height at all times during that 15 seconds. Now notice when you stand up, your height is not going to be at 0. So he's going to start somewhere up in here, wherever the height of his waist is going to be, and it's going to either be moving downward, upward, whatever, maybe staying flat. I want you to kind of see if you can depict that by watching that video. The third one is, it's a British video, so that's why they say a bum off the ground, or in this case the person's rear end. They'll be going down a slide, and so they'll be at the top of the slide, and then we'll be sliding down, and the video will last 15 seconds. So we're comparing time to the bum on the ground, and notice that if they're on top of a slide, would they be starting down here at 0, or would they be kind of up here someplace? And where is the position of their rear end according to what the video is moving here as it's going? How does it change as it's going down one of those slides? See if you can graph it and see if you can get it to where it can kind of fit in. The last one that you will look at is the distance of a weight from the bench. There's a guy that's bench pressing. He'll be bench pressing weight for 15 seconds. Notice that you have right here the scale is going up by 5s and by 1s, I'm sorry, in this case, and it's skipping, so it goes all the way to 5. And they want to know where is the weight according to where the bench is in this video. Where does it start at? Is it starting at 0? Is it right on the bench? Is it in the air someplace maybe? Is his arms extended? Where would he have a good start place? How does his arms move up and down as he's benching the weight? What happens? Does he have to take a break someplace? See if you can kind of show me what that means, that if he's taking a break, see what happens as you watch those videos. I would encourage you to watch them a couple of times, make changes to your graphs to see what happens, to see if you can perfect them. We will talk about these on tomorrow, which will be Thursday, and we'll discuss about why did those things change and why those things happen. So after you finish doing those, I have given you some of these that on the back of your paper. It is a story that goes along with a graph. So if you read the prompt through here and follow the graph, it will ask you to write a story about who won the race. Was it John or was it his dad? What happened during the race? What happened during the race? Did they all start at the same spot? What was happening at that? See if you can kind of jot a little story about what was going on. Read through here and it will kind of give you the presence, but use the graph too to tell me kind of what happened during that race. The second graph is the same thing. Kind of tell me a story about how they made profits on the lemonade stand. Obviously you can see here they're starting at a negative profit. Here's the amount sold, amount of lemonade they sold. And you can see it moves up, it goes back down, and goes back up again. What's kind of happening there? So kind of see what you can do from there. The third one here is, can you tell me a story about a person raising a flagpole? A flag up a flagpole. As you can see that they're starting here at the bottom where they're hooking the flag in, and then it rolls up, and then something flats out, goes up. What's happening there? How can you give me an estimation about what's happening as they're raising the flagpole? And then our last graph is, can you depict a story about two swimmers that are swimming, that are in middle school grades, and we'll write you a story about what happens in this race. What's happening between Cindy and Kelly. Can you kind of explain what's happening at the beginning, what's happening up here at the top, what's happening at the very end, and why did all of a sudden they taper down? What's going on with that? See if you can kind of give me a thing that could match with what's happening on that graph. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you those 4 videos that you will use for your graphs here. I would recommend that you go back and watch them several times that you can be able to get that, and we'll discuss those and also your graph stories as well at the end. Alright, so here's your first video of the clock. So think about how the second hand is changing as the timer down here is changing. How would you graph that? Alright, so then you can watch it again and graph it. Here's the second video. The height of a waist off the ground. Think about where the man's waist is compared to the ground when he first starts and as he's moving. Alright, so you can graph it and come back and watch it again. Here's your third video, which is the height of your bum off the ground here.
My goodness. She has the fix up there. Here she comes, look. Wow, look at her. Whoa!
So think about where the height of her rear end is according to where the time on the clock is going. Use that to help you graph your story. Okay, go back and watch that again if you need to. Here's our last video. It's a guy bench pressing. Distance of the weight to the bench. So we're comparing time to the distance of the weight of the bench by feet. Here it is at half speed, so think about again the distance of the bar to the bench. How far away does it get? How close does it get as the time is moving? How would you graph that or illustrate that? Alright, so there's your video. You can watch it, graph it on there. If you need to go back and watch any of those, you can. Remember to graph them onto your paper and then also do the back. Thank you very much.